What is up, bros and broettes? I'm Inkslasher, and once again, welcome back to the Black Ops 4 beta. So far, I've been absolutely loving it. Earlier today, I released a video talking about my real opinions about the games, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. So if you haven't seen that one yet, I will link it on the screen here. On top of that, it'll be linked at the end of the video. But in this video, we are going to be talking about 5 ways that you can easily improve at the Black Ops 4 beta, or the game in general, if you're watching this video when the game actually comes out. And these are easy tips, things you can change instantly that are immediately going to make you better. Now, I have to say, I've been having a really good time playing this game. My kill death is probably somewhere up around 2.5, 3. Almost every single game I end with higher than a 2.5 kill death. That's simply because, one reason, assists count as kills, so it's easier to have a higher kill death, and also I've just been really paying attention to how I navigate the maps and everything like that. So I really do think that these tips will really help you out. But before I get into that, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support in today's video. I did do a giveaway on that video, and the winner of that is Cheap Shark. I messaged you on Twitter, so you should have your beta code by now. But we're also going to be giving away 2 more beta codes today over on my Twitter. My Twitter is going to be the first link down in the description. All you have to do to get the beta code is number 1, follow me on Twitter, and number 2, retweet the tweet that you are seeing on screen here. And then I actually have a couple of codes to give away, so I'll give them to a bunch of people who retweeted that tweet and follow me on Twitter. Also, once again, I'm going to be giving a beta code away on this video. All you have to do to win it is, first of all, like the video, be subscribed to the channel, and leave a comment that says Black Ops 4 down in the comments below. But without further ado, let's get in and start talking about 5 ways you can really improve at the Black Ops 4 beta. The first one I actually talked about in an earlier video today, the video where I talked about my opinions on the game, and that is simply where you aim at the enemies. In this game, it is incredibly important not to shoot the limbs of the enemy. I don't know why, but it seems like you deal vastly less damage to the arms, hands, legs, and feet of a player than the torso and head. Even more importantly, if you can get headshots, get headshots. It seems like there's a very high headshot multiplier, even without an attachment like high caliber. So headshots are important, and torso shots are important. If you find like it's taking a million bullets to kill the enemies, it's probably because you're hitting them in the limbs a lot. So try to really focus on that aim and make sure you're hitting torso or head. It's going to make your time to kill a lot faster and make it easier to kill the enemies. And really, that's something that's never been in a Call of Duty game before, so it's ingrained in a lot of people's heads that it doesn't matter whether you're shooting them in the leg or torso, but now it seems to really matter in Black Ops 4. And that ties directly into tip number 2, and tip number 2 directly has to do with, once again, aim. If you're finding that a lot of the time you are not killing people because you're not hitting them with enough bullets, if you're struggling to kill them before they run around the corner, that is where this comes in. And that has to do with using low recoil weapons, and on top of that, the right sensitivity. So these two go directly hand in hand. I find a lot of the better weapons in the game have way higher recoil and are way harder to use. Something like the KN-57 has more recoil than something like the ICR-7. So if you're really struggling to kill people at especially long ranges, I recommend the ICR-7. It basically has no recoil whatsoever. It deals a little bit less damage, but it's way easier to use. So if you're really struggling, try something like that. Or if you're doing well but are not finding yourself like killing as many people, I recommend the KN-57. It deals a little bit more damage and has a little bit more recoil, but it's still manageable. That being said, something like the Titan LMG deals a little bit more damage, has a lot of recoil, but it's really hard to aim at people with it because of that extra recoil. So there you can see the kind of difference between them. The other part of this tip is the sensitivity that you use. You have to remember that there's no boost jumping, no wall running, or anything like that in Black Ops 4. The only thing that people can do to speed up their movement is actually slide. So, if you're using a sensitivity, I recommend using a sensitivity that is too higher horizontally than vertically, because there is no boost jump, so you're really not going to have to adjust your aim vertically. Therefore, if you just make a higher sensitivity horizontally, you're able to move better with the player while still being able to lock onto their head and torso because the sensitivity is lower vertically. So to sum that up, weapons with lower recoil may not be better, but they're simply way easier to use. So if you're struggling, try that out. On top of that, try using a sensitivity with a higher horizontal sensitivity than vertical. That brings me to point number 3, and this is one that's been in Call of Duty for a long time, but is hugely exacerbated in Black Ops 4 because each player's extra health, and that's Sharp Prioritization. So basically what this is when you run into a room and 2 enemies are there, which one do you shoot first? And it's simple. You gotta shoot the one that's either aiming at you, already shooting at you, or the closest to looking at you. Reason for this, because in this game it takes longer to kill 2 players because of the extra health. Basically, in Black Ops 3, it took 200 damage to kill 2 people. In Black Ops 4, it takes 300 damage to kill 2 people, which means the more people that are in a room, the longer it's going to take to kill, so the more important that you shoot the person that's looking at you is. So when you run into a room and you see a multiple amount of people, make sure you shoot who is ever looking at you. It's something weird to get used to, especially when normally in Call of Duty the time to kill is so fast, but with Black Ops 4's slower time to kill, this is incredibly important and will make it way easier to win those gunfights that you're getting into with 2 people, 3 people, even 4 people. Up next, point 4, this is a very, very odd one to me because normally I absolutely hate this perk, but it's hugely important in Black Ops 4, and it's a tier 1 perk, and that is Engineer. Honestly, I think this is the most underrated perk possibly ever in a Call of Duty game because normally it's just decent. It shows you trip mines, it shows you grenades, that kind of thing. In this game, it shows you everything. Simply because every specialist character has their own equipment, it makes this perk so good. It basically, if you are a team deathmatch player, tells you exactly where the enemies are spawning based off of where the various equipment is. Basically, using this perk gives you so much information about the enemy team, it just improves the way you play the game. For example, one of the big things, especially in team deathmatch, because there can be 2 of them, is tactical insertion. Basically, Seraph has this little pylon he can put down, and when she does, it allows her team to spawn on that. Therefore, if you can see that through walls with the Engineer perk, you immediately know where most of the enemies are spawning, and you can get the jump on them. Similar to that, it shows you the trip mines that Nomad uses, it shows you any sort of barricade or tripwire that Torque uses. It's an incredibly important perk that I don't think nearly enough people are using. It also shows you when a dog's running at you or a seeker shock mine or anything like that, and that way you can prepare yourself to actually shoot it and kill it before it hits you. Like I said, an incredibly powerful perk, especially for the team deathmatch players, because it really does help you read the spawns of the enemies. And the final tip, and in my opinion the most important tip on the entire list, has to do with playing Call of Duty in a very reverse way. For years now, we've been trained that whenever you play Call of Duty, you're running headstrong into the gunfight, you want to get as many kills as fast as possible, and you can do so because 1, the health regenerates fast, and 2, the time to kill is so low. Both of these things are non-existent in Black Ops 4. Unless you're using Stim Shot, then you can heal kind of quick. The thing with this is, like I said, in Black Ops 4, there is a higher time to kill, and you have to actually heal yourself. So in my opinion, the most important thing if you want to do better in Black Ops 4 is number 1, choose your gunfights more specifically, and don't be afraid to not get in gunfights. So after you get into a gunfight, kill someone, and you've taken 75 damage, don't feel like you have to engage his buddy and try to kill him with only 75 health. Back up, reload your weapon, stim shot yourself, heal up, then get in the next gunfight. Or hell, don't get in that gunfight altogether, simply run away and re-engage from a different angle. It's incredibly important in this game that after you get in a gunfight, after you kill someone, there's 2 things you have to do. Reload and heal yourself. In previous Call of Duty games, all you had to do was reload. So to get used to that takes a little while, but it is nifty once you actually do so to be able to re-engage from a different angle or re-engage with full health very quickly if you're using Stim Shot, which I highly recommend. And that's kind of like another hugely important tip that I can give you that's not necessarily on the list, but once you hit level 5, once you unlock Create a Class, don't fall into the bad crowd and use body armor because it only helps you for your first gunfight, whereas Stim Shot helps you in every single gunfight. Stim Shot is going to be the equipment that helps you in every gunfight, helps you get that kill death higher, and improves you as a player. Body armor is a little bit more newbie, it only helps you in that first gunfight, and basically after that, you're throwing yourself to the wolves. So to sum up those 5 points, the first is to make sure you are not damaging limbs, you are dealing damage to the torso or head, because it seems to be that there is a higher damage multiplier in those areas. The second tip is if you're struggling to aim and get enough bullets on target, use lower recoil weapons, and on top of that, use a sensitivity that has a higher horizontal sensitivity than vertical sensitivity. Also, don't listen to your friends, don't use a super low sensitivity or crazy high sensitivity. Find something that's comfortable for you and stick with that. The third thing was shot prioritization. When you walk into a room and see 3 people, make sure you shoot the guy who's looking at you first. It seems obvious, but a lot of people screw that one up. The fourth thing is try out Engineer. It's an incredibly powerful perk, gives you a ton of information, and could even hint you into where the enemies are spawning. And finally, don't be afraid to run away from gunfights. If you're low on health, if you need to reload, if you need to stim, make sure you have full health before you get into a gunfight. Or hell, re-engage from a different angle. If you do all of these things, I promise you, your kill death will get better. You will get better at Black Ops 4, and you're gonna see that kill death, you're gonna see that score per game go higher and higher and higher. I promise you. But guys, those are the 5 things that'll really help you out, raise that KD in Black Ops 4. If you enjoyed the video or want to win a beta code, the way to do so is hit that like button and leave a comment down in the comment section below. On top of that, check out my Twitter in the description. I'm also giving beta codes away on there, so be sure to check that out down in the description. Also, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, you want to stay up to date on all my Black Ops 4 content, the way to do so is hit that subscribe button. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.